What's up, beautiful people? This is Nate here.
It's Kev.
And we are GamesMusicLyfe. So, yeah, we're back with a review for the 2 Chainz project titled Pretty Girls Like Trap Music.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So, fourth album from 2 Chainz, highly anticipated.
Yeah.
You know, I respect the hustle, man. He's been sounding spirited on a lot of his guest features as of late. I wasn't a big fan of his last album, The Collar Grove. I was not a big fan of that. So, I definitely was a little bit leery going into this one, wondering what to expect from this one, man. Even though it was an ode to Wayne, you know, definitely, you know, that was his boy and, you know, wanted him to get on there, but I was like, ew, I didn't like it too much. But so I didn't know what the heck to get into on this one.
Yeah.
I know what he's going to talk about, but, you know, whatever. I rock with 2 Chainz. He's okay. But, you know, I think with 2 Chainz, I like the fact he don't take himself too serious, but I could kind of tell he was trying to get better. I can always applaud that. So we'll see what he did on this, you know. All right, man. So let's get into it. So track 1, Saturday Night. The guitar feature on this one stands out to me over everything, and it's kind of Western sounding beat. The bassy drums definitely invoke the head nod. Chainz rise the beat and gives a decent 2 Chainz offering. Decent way to start off the project.
Yeah, with it, I definitely didn't think that this would be the way he started off his album, man. It's got these really heavy guitar licks on this beat, man. They were paired with some really awkward piano keys, and there were barely any drums, but somehow it all works itself out. 2 Chainz' energy brings out the whole vibe of the track in a way that only 2 Chainz can, so, you know, I wouldn't expect anything different from it.
Gotcha. Okay, so leading to track 2, Riverdale Road. What do you think?
With it, man, the synths on this track make it feel like it's straight out of a horror movie. It just sounded like a murder mystery on this track.
Notes, man. I my notes, brother. Go ahead.
I didn't really find anything special about this track, though, but I did think it was decent all around, but, you know, it kind of stopped at decent for me.
Gotcha, man. I mean, Mike Dean blesses the track with a dreamy vibe, man. Imagine a monster chasing you, and someone had to put on the music that in the mindset that you're going through. That's what this beat would be. The high-pitched violin reminds me of an old Alfred Hitchcock episode. 2 Chainz gives another decent 2 Chainz offering for the vocals. The chorus is very weak, though, I felt. All right, man. So leads into track 3, Good Drink featuring Gucci Mane and Quavo.
Good Drink.
Good Drink. I'm sorry, Good Drink. I said good drink. It's drink.
Know,
I apologize.
Drink.
I'm sorry.
It's different.
With that draw
it's
on
a difference, man.
No
Don't let our H-Town fans fool
listen,
you, man.
I apologize. I apologize. I read it instead of reading it. Okay? All right, man. So this beat is fire, though, man. The keys and the drums are just so smooth, man. 2 Chainz starts off the track and gives a good offering. The clone, as we call Gucci Mane, comes through and gives another eye-opening flow. I mean, I'm just amazed by this dude as of late, man. Stemming from his last project. So Quavo does what he does. He's on the hook. Was definitely a good touch to add him to the hook. Uncle Quavo came and blessed the hook. This is a hit.
Yeah,
this is a pure hit.
I mean, with it, this has been the lead single for some time, man, coming into this album. It was originally released on that Hibachi for Lunch EP or mixtape that he released. And, you know, it had a lot of success, man. It's since been pulled from that mixtape now that it's included with this album. So, you know, it was like 2 Chainz knew he had a banger, and, you know, he just rode the wave. Really not much to talk about here, man. Gucci Mane absolutely stole this track, man. He bodied everybody on this track.
Man.
I did wish that Quavo had a verse instead of just being on the hook, but it didn't take anything away from the track, man. It's still a banger. Yeah. Like, 2 Chainz is good for that, man. He'll give you a track here and there, man. Like, each project I feel like is going to have at least one song that bangs, whether it's Watch Out, whether it's Good Drink.
Yeah.
You know, he's always going to get that one, man, since Duffel Bag Boys.
Okay. All right, man. So leads into track 4, 4 a.m. featuring Travis Scott. What'd you think, bro?
I think Travis Scott's production style really lends itself well to 2 Chainz, really allowing his voice to cut through the track. Both 2 Chainz and Travis held it down, in my opinion. I would love to hear more of this pairing together.
Okay. I mean, another dreamy beat, which kind of sounds more like a Travis song featuring 2 Chainz, but this by no means is a bad thing. You know, the beat shines over the 2 Chainz below bar, 2 Chainz bars. He actually was kind of lackluster on this one on the bar level, but Travis kind of saved it a little bit. The skit at the end, though, makes the track.
Yeah,
you know, that makes the track. All right, man. It's leading to track 5, Door Swinging. The beat is nuts. This beat is crazy, man. From the bassy drums to the breakdown, allowing the violin to shine. This track will make you get up and do your 2-step of choice. I think Slim Thug would have been a good addition to this track, though. Okay. I just kept imagining who would come through, and I just want to hear Thug. He just come through and just give it on that one. I wanted to hear Slim Thug on this one, man. But the beat is just the strength of this song. It definitely has a lot of energy. I loved it.
Yeah, man. I thought that the beat here was pretty nice, but overall, man, I really just thought this track was just it was kind of decent. Yeah. It was all right.
It needed a feature
right for me.
It needed a feature, man. Because 2 Chainz does what 2 Chainz does, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, man. Leading to track 6, Realize, featuring Nicki Minaj. What'd you think, bro?
I'm really not feeling this beat, man. The loud keys are so obnoxious that it's hard to really focus on anything else here. I thought 2 Chainz started in a decent verse, but I felt like this record was way more tailored for Nicki. It sounded like a song that was probably meant just for Nicki, that maybe she was going to pass on, or she didn't know what else to do with, and just gave it to 2 Chainz to go ahead and to keep it. I thought her singing actually came across pretty well in this track, and the verse fits. She low-key saved this track, in my opinion. It's one of the first decent Nicki Minaj verses and tracks that I've heard this year. So I thought she did her thing, but 2 Chainz may have slacked a little bit.
Okay, this is where we go to a different fork in the road here. I thought Chainz stepped it up on this one bar-wise, man. When I think he's losing it, he actually is making fun of mumble rappers, which I thought was pretty dope. Nicki's verse is just... It isn't terrible, but since the Safari breakup, I haven't heard that monster Nicki. I wanted to hear that, man. This is mediocre verse, but I fear this is what we will get from her from going forward, man. It's like I haven't heard a good Nicki bar yet. The beat is nursery rhymish, but the added bass makes it worth a listen. It's just the song was okay. For it to be a Nicki feature, you gotta have more fire than this.
I thought Nicki did her thing. Like I thought her, especially her singing. I thought her singing came across real good.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to hear more from Nicki. I just thought she'd get more.
You want to hear more from Nicki?
I want to hear more from Nicki. Monster. Monster.
Listen, I've never really been impressed by Monster, but that's
right.
a different conversation.
All right, man. Listen to track 7, "Poor Fool" featuring Sway Lee. The hook god from Ray Shremmer blesses the chorus, man. The beat is completely fire. Mike Will Made It has become a producer who I check for on projects at this point. Sounds like a bunch of wind chimes and a crazy bass drop. The beat gives Chainz a lane to shine. This beat was made strictly for him. So I thought it was a pretty decent track.
Now with it, I don't know if maybe I just need more time with this track, but right now I'm really not feeling this beat, and I feel like Sway Lee didn't quite find the magic that he typically does on the hooks. With this, there's nothing against this track, but right now I really felt like it was kind of missing something.
Gotcha.
It didn't lend itself well to me. I don't know.
Gotcha. No problem. No doubt, man. All right, man. Let's listen to track 8, "The Big Amount" featuring Big Boy Drake.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
Another track we've had for a while since its release back in 2016 as the first single from his Danielson The Necklace Dawn mixtape. This track is, of course, no longer part of that track list either. It's now part of this album, so hey, there you go. I still thought it was a solid track, man. Glad to see it make the lineup here. Fits the vibe of the album, and I really felt like Zay Tiggy did his thing with this beat, so
gotcha.
It was cool.
Hey, man, the guy's in the back with the flute. He's like in the corner playing the flute. Tip that man. Okay, this is the big year for the flute because he done his thing all year, man. Whoever's on that flute, keep doing what you're doing, man. That flute stood out. Once again, man, the keys come in along with the crazy bass and the silly drums. I hopped up and, dug in my bag for my two-step, man. I got my two-step on for this one, man. Eiley Drizzy comes in and seems to be dropping some subs at Tory Lanez and Meek. I felt it was a dope touch to shout out Bankroll, who was another Atlanta artist who was definitely fire. They got killed, and I definitely thought it was a good touch for him to do that. But Drizzy was on this one, man. I thought he came in and stole it on this one. It was pretty dope. I liked it.
I feel it.
All right, man. Let's listen to track 9. It's a Vibe featuring Ty Dolla $ign, Trey Songz, and Janae Aiko. What'd you think?
With it, man, 2 Chainz comes in with his obligatory R&B track, and I felt like it worked well here. I liked the Ty Dolla $ign Trey Songz pairing on the chorus with Janae Aiko switching it up to close it out. I like the laid-back energy of this track, man. Thought it came off well on the album. No
doubt. It's a sexy track, man. I think the features really proved exactly what he was trying to get over on this one. Everyone came in and gave their vibe of what, the sexy vibe through this song, so I definitely think it was a good touch. Chainz, he matches the vibe. It doesn't hurt anything, but to be the only rapper on the track, I thought he was okay. So that was okay. Decent track. Okay, so listen to track 10, Rolls Royce. All right, man. I can see this being playing in a Rolls Royce, man. Kind of funny track, but this is a banger. The beat is once again nuts, upbeat with a 90s R&B sample vibe, uplifting track. I thought it was fire. I thought it was 2 Chainz, typical 2 Chainz.
Yeah, now I'm just going to start by saying the track is solid, but I'm going to nitpick a little bit here, man. It's so funny hearing 2 Chainz talk about my doors go that way as if we could actually see him. That doesn't really, as an audible, it doesn't really make much sense.
So you want to be more descriptive?
I mean, my doors go that way?
Yeah.
I don't Which way is that way?
Yeah.
But that was just something that stuck out to me. I had to laugh a little bit there.
Gotcha.
I thought 2 Chainz held it down on the verses. I liked the switch up in the beat during the second verse. So overall, I thought it was a solid track.
Gotcha. Okay. Leads into track 11. Sleep When You Die. Sleep When You Die. What'd you think?
Yeah, man, I haven't heard OJ the Juice Man in years.
Man.
2 Chainz. He should have actually got him on this track for real.
I thought so.
Felt like first things first. This beat was amazing from the drums to the guitar. I think that this is when 2 Chainz is at his best, when he's talking that motivational talk, man, just that swagger talk on there. If it's one thing I trust from 2 Chainz, is knowing how to come up, and you can actually hear it in his voice. So I thought that this is one of the better tracks on the album.
Right. I mean, this is the first real trappy sound he's gotten into on the project.
Yeah.
Very aggressive, promoting the grind and keep pushing and only sleep when you die. The chorus shines over the bars, though. The bars were decent, but the chorus is actually what stands out to you. That's what you remember from this track. But I definitely thought it was the bars a little bit mediocre, but the chorus kind of saved it. I thought it was a decent track. I definitely rock with it.
Yeah.
All right, so leads into track 12, Trap Check. Another trap. Trap track. The T.I. ASAP sample was dope, but not as good as the original. The original ASAP was dope. Up to this point, it sounded like a growth project for Chainz, but this track sounds like his past work. Nothing really stood out to me on this one.
Yeah, first thing that hit me was like, man, we went from the OJ the Juice Man sample, now we're getting the Jeezy and T.I. sample on this track. 2 Chainz really trying to bring back the early 2000s, the trap music, and I'm all about it. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
The golden era of trap, if you will.
Yeah.
I feel like 2 Chainz was floating all over this beat, and it sounds like he's having a lot of fun on this joint, man. The hook was a little weak, but I thought it was a cool song. I liked it.
Gotcha. Okay. So he's on track 13, Blue Cheese featuring Migos. What'd you think, bro?
First thing I want to say is that 2 Chainz floated all through this verse on this track. Now, between the heavy synths and the echo on Offset's verse, it started to sound a lot was going on in this track. I didn't feel like it was the best performance from the Migos, but overall, I didn't think that the song was lacking anything.
Gotcha. I mean, I thought it was a very smooth track, man. The organ and the drums are simply just dope on this one. The Migos are becoming a go-to for features at this point, man, for a hit anyway. Chain's verse was completely hilarious. Uncle Quavo on the hook, which is a good touch. I thought the other two added a pretty I can't remember their damn names half the time. The other two guys, Uncle Quavo.
Offset, Takeoff.
There we go. Those two. One dude dates Cardi B, and the other dude, whatever, he just had a birthday. But I thought it was the track was fire to me, though.
Okay.
I definitely think it was fire. Number 14 leads into OG Kush Diet.
Yeah.
Unlike the previous two tracks, the beat is still trappy but transitions into a complete banger around a 2-minute 20-second mark. I went from yawning to stank face. Around that transition, Chainz matches the energy and slows it back down to the original beat towards the end. The skit once again shines at the end of this to add a comedic touch. It was a very dope track in my opinion.
I feel it, man. First thing that hit me is just, man, where are the drums on this track, man? It felt like I had to wait forever for them to come in there.
Yeah.
I think we run into a theme on this album with solid verses and weak hooks, and it feels like 2 Chainz really stepped it up for his bars and forgot how he made his money making all those hooks, going back, having those super memorable hooks in the past. I love the switch up on the second verse of this track, though. It really brings the energy back. I felt like he actually should have used that beat the whole way through. But the switch up was definitely dope.
Definitely. Okay, so he's on track 15, Ball Lane featuring Pharrell. What'd you think?
Yeah, first things first, man. Pharrell, and by way of the Neptunes as well, man. They're one of my favorite producers of all time. Like you've heard me just rant on and on about the Neptunes, man. I love NERD as a band, one of my favorite bands of all time. Now, with that said, man, what is this? What is this? This track doesn't feel like it fits on this project at all. The beat has this really dancey salsa or Latin jazz vibe. I really just don't see the vision on this track. It actually just sounded like he wanted to include Pharrell in some way, because, I mean, it's such a big name. When you find out that there's some Pharrell production on an album, like, you kind of want to hear it. But this track, this ain't the one. This ain't the one.
I didn't know what he was trying to pull off on this one. It sounded like it was like an African dance vibe it had, and then it was like, it didn't sound like a typical Pharrell beat. I just think it, like, if you look at the track listing, you'll see Pharrell. It'll catch people off guard. It won't be what you think it's gonna be. I would have rather heard Pharrell maybe on more of a trappy pocket, kind of blessing with just a clean track. But he gave not just a track, the chorus. He actually did the production of the song, so he definitely lent a lot to it. I just wish I wanted more from it. I think the energy was good, though. If anything I say good about it, the energy was good. 2 Chainz came through with the energy, as he always does. But I just think it was kind of shortcoming for it to be a Pharrell feature. I think I expected a lot more. All right, man. So leading the track, the last track on the album, 16, Burglar Bars featuring Monica. I thought it was a very smooth track. The beat is dreamy with this addictive strings once again, man. Monica does her thing on the hook, and Chainz gives a kind of coming to age flow. That was a good track. Way to end the project.
Man, I'm really digging the soulful vibe, and You're Gonna Need Somebody to Love You sample. It really just brought out everything on this track. I felt like Monica was a perfect choice for this track. Really understated, but her voice complements the beat so well. 2 Chainz was spilling his real life testimony all over this track, man, which I thought was great. It all came across very personal. Like, he was really trying to tell his story on this track, man. I thought it was a great way to close out the album.
Gotcha. All right, man. So all in all for the project, man, I mean, the one thing I had written down in all caps was just growth, 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 man. I went back and listened to the Duffel Bag Boy Chainz, and to hear that artist and hear the guy he is now, I'm happy to hear the progression. As a rapper, I feel once he started taking it more serious, he became more polished. The production on this album is definitely pretty good from start to finish. It seems to be geared directly towards Chainz and his features, though. I really enjoyed this project and didn't really expect it to be good, to be honest with you. I didn't expect it to be as good as I thought it was. As it was seeing it through, I wasn't a big fan of Collie Grove, so I definitely was coming off of just like, I didn't know what this was going to be, but it definitely kind of went a 180 in that aspect, because it seemed like he kind of touched on a lot of different things, whereas it was before, which is a lot of real trappy stuff. So yeah, just the growth of 2 Chainz, man. I think if you listen to the older artists and Titty Boy as he was earlier in Duffel Bag Boy, here he is now. He's still got that swag in there, but he seems more of a polished rapper, and I definitely can appreciate that progression as a rapper. It looks like he's trying to take it a little better. But I definitely thought it was okay, man. I thought it was a decent project. Everybody give it a listen. I don't know if it's going to do the standing power for me to stay on my phone, but I give it 82.
I can dig that.
Yeah.
With it, I definitely thought that you could hear a lot of growth in 2 Chainz, man. He was trying to turn in some really creative verses. He was trying to step his bars up, man. You could really tell he took his time with writing a lot of these songs on this album. Mm-hmm. He wanted to make sure that he wasn't getting grouped in with the rest of these mumble rappers and everything like that. He's trying to show some staying power. And 2 Chainz is a star. I mean, however you want to put him or wherever you want to put him in the rap game, the guy is a star. But I did kind of feel like he got away from his bread and butter on this album, man, and he really got away from having those really catchy hooks. A lot of these hooks just sounded like really underwritten. I don't want to say sloppy, but it didn't live up to what I'm used to from 2 Chainz. I mean, he's usually always gives you those memorable hooks. I mean, Watch Out, the second I heard it, I knew that was a hit because, I mean, that hook was so simple, but it worked so well, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't really get that on this album. I knew coming into it that it would at least be a solid project. I mean, there were already some big hits that were, going to be included on this album that were already out in the wild or, from his other projects. So I knew that he wasn't going to disappoint me in that way. But I definitely felt like he should have took a little bit more time with those hooks on here, and he could have really turned in a great or a really memorable album. With all that said, though, man, the production was all very good. I felt like his verses were all pretty solid, and the album was worth a listen. I rated it out as an 80. Yeah, I mean, right there, just right there. Solid.
Do you think the growth that we talked about kind of hurt him? He got away from his original sound, which was what we all grew to love as 2 Chainz?
I think that he shifted his focus and wanted to focus more on the bars, but it's like, yo, listen, don't let up on those hooks, man, because that's what we come here for. If I want to hear just rapidy rapping, I'll go to rapidy rappers, but from 2 Chainz, man, I want to hear something that gets the energy up, man, makes you want to sing along with it, man.
Semi-ignorant.
I mean, you want to bob your head with it a little bit, man. You want just something easy, quick that's gonna stick in your head, man. And I didn't feel like I got that on this album, but I definitely think that he was trying to take a step forward in the artistry. So I appreciate him for that, at least.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, man. So let us know what you guys think, man. We rated too high, too low? What did you guys think of the project? Leave it in the comments below. But just let us know, man. I think it's definitely worth a listen. I don't know if it has any staying power. I think once some more videos start coming out on it, it'll definitely go a little bit more. But it's 2 Chainz, man. You know what to expect from him. But I do think it's a different sound.
Yeah,
different sound.
Hey, listen, another mixtape will be here in a couple months. So
yeah, so we'll forget all about it. But man, I'm Nate here.
It's Kev.
We're Games Music Life, man. Drink more water, people.
Peace.